Are you ready for a simple day? I'm ready for a simple day. Hey everyone, Cristin Som here, and we are continuing with our Enchanted Winter Quilt with our sponsor, Daylily Fabric Shop. So I just want to warn you, for some reason my light keeps dropping all the way down, so if you see me getting shorter, that's what's happening. I don't know why. It's as tight as it'll go. So hopefully we'll just cross our fingers and hope everything works out. So we are continuing on. We have all of section 1 complete, and we're actually getting really close to section 2 being complete. I can't believe how great everyone's doing. It's funny because when we started this project, every time somebody would post pictures, I was like, yay, this is great. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so fast. I feel like I can't keep up. So you guys are doing amazing and definitely keeping me on my toes for sure. So after section 1, we did the Welcome Winter block and the Tundra Flowers block, florals, Tundra Florals. We did that together, and then we did that beautiful pine tree. This is my favorite so far. It's so pretty. Pine tree 2 block, and then we did the snowflakes block. Now this was really fun. I am loving seeing everybody's pictures of what they're doing. There's been bells and something else that was pretty cool, and different snowflakes, very fun. And some are doing the align and distribute and enjoying that process of learning something new. And it's just so cool to see what everyone's doing. And then we did alarm. All right, so then we did the dear friend block. That is just so beautiful. I love him. He's so cute. And with that, we added in our little 2x4 filler block number 6 to be able to use up that hoop space and to keep us moving along. And then for later, we have our snowflake block already done that we did earlier in section 1. And then we have the piece corner block for section 3. So lots of blocks. We're doing so great. I'm loving it. So today I'm thinking simple. So the block itself I don't think is very simple because it looks like there's a lot of applique pieces, but we're going to do one simple block. We're not going to add to it. We're not going to do anything extra. So that'll be easy and fun. In fact, I'm not even going to bring you over to the computer and merge the 2 files together. I'm just going to do that on my machine. So very simple day. All right, so grab your packet. Like I said, there's quite a bit in this packet. So I think there will be a lot of cutting and all of that, but still a pretty easy day, I think. All right, so we are going to do Penguin Friend. I almost forgot to tell you what we're going to work on. We're going to work on Penguin Friend. He's probably going to end up being my favorite. I really like that pine tree block, but I love penguins. I literally have an obsession with penguins and polar bears. My daughter, we had a penguin and polar bear birthday party for one of her birthdays a ton of years ago, and yet ever since then, I'm like super obsessed with penguins and polar bears. There's a video that was floating around on Facebook that said, I could never work at a zoo. I would have one of those penguins in the car with me by end of shift. And that's me. That's totally me. So I also saw it last night. Somebody broke into a zoo and put little surfer costumes on all the penguins and even attached little fake surfboards to their feet. That's mean. And it's against the law, but it was interesting to see. So anyway, I love penguins, definitely. All right, so Penguin Friend, he is on page 33. And like I said, there's lots of pieces to him. So let's go ahead and go over what we need for today. So the first thing is this large block. It is the white with blue snowflakes on it. And we're going to start with this at 8.5 by 10.5. Make sure that you back this with fusible stabilizer. It is a large piece of fabric that would be prone to puckering. All right. So 8.5 by 10.5. I will say that this is all applique and there will be satin stitching and all of that. But if you're doing a project that has all embroidery versus one that has applique, that embroidered one with lots of high stitch count is more likely to get puckering. So we should be okay, but just back it with fusible stabilizer to make sure. All right, 8.5 by 10.5 for our main fabric. And my little Lily is snoring over there. It's so nice. I love that she's so content. All right, so then our next one is the outer body on the penguin, and it is the black with white dots on it. All right, and I did back mine. Let's see, does it say iron fusible to the wrong side of all fabrics except for the hat? We'll talk about that. It's funny to me. All right, so black with white dots, backed with fusible stabilizer. We're going to start with this at 5 by 5.5. All right, 5 by 5.5. So it is not a square, it is a rectangle. So we'll have to keep that in mind and make sure that we're getting all of the parts when we lay this down to make sure that we're fully covering the placement stitch just in case we were to do it the wrong way. All right, so it's a little bit longer than it is wide. All right, so 5 by 5.5, black with white dots. And then for the inner body, it looks like white with white dots. Hard to see. White with white dots fabric. All right. It is inner body fabric number 12, if that helps you. All right. So make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer because it's going to be on that black and you don't want your penguin to look dirty. You want him to look nice and clean. So this white fabric, all right, white with white dots, and it is going to be 3.5 by 5, 3.5 by 5 for the inner body. I hope you can't hear Lily snoring. It's really darn cute, but probably not so great on a video when you can't even see the cute dog. So 3.5 by 5 for your white fabric backed with fusible stabilizer. And then the hat fabric. So we talked about this. Which one was it? Cute one with a hat, and it was the same thing. The hat, it says not to stabilize the hat fabric, and I just think that's so weird. I don't know why. I'm super curious why. But you know what's really funny is that somebody commented on that previous video when we did the hat, and I was like, why aren't we stabilizing this? And she came up with a pretty feasible option. It could be, she said, because we're going to sew the pom-pom on at the end, and maybe because it'll make it less thick to be able to get that needle through for the pom-pom. So I'm going to go with that and assume that that's what Kimberbell was thinking. I don't know. I thought it was pretty odd that this one thing is not stabilized. And the other one did have a decorative stitch, so I thought it had something to do with the decorative stitch, which doesn't personally make sense to me. But so I'm going to go with the fact that we're going to use a needle to get through to add the pom-pom, so maybe it's the thickness. So thank you to the person that commented with that suggestion on there as far as feasibility of why we're not stabilizing this hat. So the hat fabric is 3 by 2, so it's this way, 3 by 2. It is the aqua with little flowers on it. I don't remember the name of it. I remembered the name of this fabric last year, but I don't recall it this year. That's what happens when you get older. just so you know, just be prepared. All right, so it is the aqua fabric with little flowers on it, and we are not stabilizing it, and we want it to be 3 by 2. This is for the penguin's hat. All right, and then for the hat brim and the scarf, we're going to have this really pretty silky solid, no design on it. It looks pretty blue here, but it's actually kind of an aqua-ish color. So it is fabric number 22, if that helps. All right, and like I said, it's a silky solid, no design on it. Back it with fusible stabilizer because it's not the hat, it's the hat brim and the scarf. All right, so this one we're going to start with at 4 by 4.5. All right, 4 by 4.5 for the hat brim and the scarf. All right, and then we have that applique glitter. We used this on our dear friend yesterday, and it worked out really well, and it's really pretty. I like it. Don't forget to use your iron in the hoop. Don't unhoop your project, but we are going to use our iron to adhere it a little bit. And I showed on yesterday's video the iron that I have. It's this little one. It's like probably this big, and it works out perfectly for ironing in the hoop. So I'll add my Amazon storefront here. If you click on that, it's in the essential items, and I use it often. So it's really great. Also for adding rhinestones on sweaters, it works really well for that too. All right, so back to the penguin. So the last fabric is the applique glitter, and like I mentioned yesterday, for the dear friend, we want to take off that topping. It's super important to take off that topping. All right, and then like I said, we will iron it in place for 15 to 20 seconds with a pillowcase or some sort of cover over it. All right, so our white applique glitter, it's for the ice. The penguin is skating on ice. Super cute. So this is going to be 5x2. 5x2 for the white applique glitter. It is in your embellishment kit. All right. So if you bought an embellishment kit, it's in there. Don't worry. 5x2. All right. And then we have our batting. So our batting today is going to be 7x9. 7x9 for your batting. All right. And then we are going to quilt this, and we are going to quilt it with Winter 7. That's the one with all the snowflakes on it. That'll be really cute. So Winter 7 in a 6x8 design. Winter 7 in a 6x8 design. So again, I'm going to remind you. So those that have their biggest hoop as a 6x10, that means that this will be a 6.5x8.5 design, the quilting design. So you take out steps 3 and 4 of the quilting to make it fit in your 6x10 hoop. Although I'm not sure, you might also have to shrink it down a little bit, but I'm going to use my 7x12 hoop because that'll work just fine for this. So if you don't have a bigger hoop, that's your option to be able to get your quilting design to fit. It's funny, look at, I wrote in my notes, why on that hat, why don't we stabilize it? I thought that was so funny. I'm like, I don't get it. All right, so a couple things to note. We will press that glitter sheet, and I'll walk you through that when we get there with photos. And then the other thing is the pom-pom will be added at the end after everything. If you're not Dwani, because Dwani likes to put her embellishments on beforehand, I'm going to do them at the very end of the project so that nothing gets caught or stuck on my machine. So, and she has a different way of doing it. So whatever works for you. If you're not binding in the hoop, then it wouldn't be a problem, because Stitch in the Dish will have it be, the quilt be upright, but for binding it would be down, and all of those embellishments would be hitting into your machine. So I'm going to save that for later, so it won't be on this video. The other thing, just like on the Dear Friend, remember the Dear Friend had that button that we're going to put on her head, and so we did not stitch the last 5 stitches and the last 5 steps. And so same thing with this one. If you are not, let's see, if you plan to attach the pom-pom, skip to machine step 22. If you plan to attach the button, skip to machine step 24, 26. So there's a few things that I will be skipping because I've bought the embellishment kit, and so I'm going to have the ice cream cone and the pom-pom, but there are other, if you don't have the embellishment kit, you can stitch those, but I'm not going to have that on my tutorial, but we'll bypass those steps, but you can absolutely do that. So like I said, I'm not even going to bring you to the computer and have you use Embellishment Essentials. You absolutely could do that. It's super duper easy. You don't even need to do a color sort because we're just doing the one block. We're not making any changes to it. So I'm just going to bring it to the machine, and I'm going to load the quilting design and then load the penguin design, and just making sure that they're going to be centered. That's key. Let's see. All right, so it says align the block embroidery file with the quilting design file so that both files are centered. All right, so since we're quilting in the hoop, we don't have to do any of those special trim instructions. Otherwise, you've got to do this traditional hooping, mark the center, do all these things. We don't need to do any of that. All right, so we are all set. Oh, the trick-or-treaters are starting. Oh my goodness, there's a humongous dinosaur walking down my street right now. How fun. All right, happy Halloween, everyone. You're going to see this after Halloween, but it's going to be a fun night. So let's go ahead and get stitching. shirt today. This is a fun one. It says, when life gives you scraps, make a quilt. How fun is that? I'm pretty sure it's designed by Juju, if I recall correctly. And the sweater is a good one. I like this. It fits well. It's got a hood on it. It's not too thick. It's a good sweater and a great color. Oh my gosh, I love this. Is probably my favorite pink. There's so many different pink parts, but this one I really like. The different shades of pink, I should say. This one is really pretty. So I have this in my Amazon storefront. I believe I bought it last year, so it should still be in there if it's still available. I will add a link here to my Amazon storefront so that you can check out all the sweaters that I recommend, that I have embroidered on, that I think fit well, and all of that. They're all in my Amazon storefront, and then I'll also add information in the video notes for where I got the design. I'm pretty sure it was designed by Juju, but I will add a direct link in the video notes. And how are you doing with your goal? So the November goal should be starting soon. I assume I'm gonna get added to that, so I don't know what it is yet. I'm assuming it'll be about 80 miles. I'm kind of hoping for a little less, but we'll see. I got invited tomorrow to go hiking with some friends. I'm really excited. An outdoor hike. I feel like I haven't done that in so long after such an awesome summer of so much hiking, and then everyone just kind of dropped off. So I'm really excited to go for a hike tomorrow with my friends and catch up. So that'll be super fun, and I assume that there will be another challenge that I'll be in, so that will be good too. Today I did do a 3-mile hike with about 600 feet of climbing, so it was a good hike. It was indoors on my treadmill with Tommy Rivs. He has this great series on iFit. So I did that, and I wore my 12-pound weighted vest and climbed, and my mom and stepdad called me and did a video call while I was on the treadmill huffing and puffing, and so that was fun to be able to connect with them, and a little interesting since I was working out, and so they could hear the treadmill going and all of that, but at least I wasn't running, because if I was running I wouldn't be breathing well. So anyway, I did do my workout. I think I'm at about 85 miles, I'm guessing, maybe a little bit less than 85 miles for the month of October, and the November one will start, I assume, tomorrow, so that will be good. New challenge. And my other one of less hand holding, I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm working it now, so I'm trusting in the group to be able to help out, and everybody's just way helping. I'm super thankful for that. And there's been little comments here and there on where I get tagged on things, and letting it go. Somebody commented on a video from a couple of years ago on a mug rug that was like a sports theme, and I guess I called the volleyball a soccer ball, or the soccer ball a volleyball, and I'm like, who cares? Like, so I did apologize. I'm so sorry that I said the wrong word. I'll tell you though, when you get in front of a camera and you've got all these people watching you, it's really hard to have all the right words at all the time. So I do my best. I'm definitely human. I make mistakes, and I apologize for them and learn from them. So I do appreciate the feedback, but I'm doing good at less hand holding and not letting things get to me too much, because I definitely am like that. I'm extremely sensitive, unfortunately, but it is who I am. So I'm working my goal. I'm doing my best. That's all we can do, is our absolute best. So how are you doing with your goal? I want to hear about it. I've been loving hearing all the feedback on Facebook and on YouTube where you're telling me about your goal and what you're doing. A ton of people are keeping up with this project and doing UFOs, unfinished object projects. And I'm like, golly, like, how are you doing all of this? This is amazing. And one gal, I have to say, Mary commented and said that she wasn't feeling very well, so she got a ton done. She got in her comfy sweats and a cup of tea and did a bunch of sewing. And I'm like, how come when I sew, I have to do my hair and I have to be on camera? I got a little jealous, but I loved seeing how much she got done. It's really cool to see everyone and their progress in their goals. So keep it up. Keep telling me how you're doing. I love hearing about it.